Afternoon. This video documentation in regards to the return Euro Mercedes-Benz headlights. I just want to actually take the time before I even open the box to actually document everything as I promised. So straight out of the box, I'm just going to go ahead and run through the bench testing and whatnot and actually do the basic inspection. Alright. And it hasn't been opened yet because the paper's still intact. Okay. Thanks for the Army form. Set this aside. Something still connected to it. Probably the relay harness for the bi-xenon. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect some of the HID components, reconnect them on the table. Far lights. Just going to open up the rear housing, just so that I can undo the bulb so I'm not having the headlights and the relay harness hanging out. Disconnect the H4 connector. Just need to get the HID bulb off. Oops. Alright, so free the HID bulb off. Got the headlight assembly right here. Should be right back with an H4 halogen bulb.
Thank you.
Alright. So I have an H4 halogen bulb right here. And just, again, like what I mentioned before in the previous troubleshoot, I'm leaving the HID out of the equation, being the case that you mentioned a lot of the functions aren't working from the start. So I just want to make sure the lights in itself have proper contact points and is able to bench test at the least. Alright, insert that there. So, same as you were referencing from before, have the pin layouts real quick. Empty, yellow, brown, white, red. All proper. So I have your 5 to 4 main pin conversions right here. So I'll go ahead and run the bench testing real quick just to see what I get. Of course, ground is negative. So I got that. So now it's just pretty much the bench testing portion. Power supply on. Okay, right off the bat, this is exactly what I expected to see. I'm already letting you know low beam works with no issues. So next will be high beam, which is the other filament. You see the city light turning on inside right there, illuminating. That's the city light, which can be checked again in the front. You'll see the city light turning on. So the only thing that I don't see right now illuminating will be the fog light. Again, it makes sense to me because there you have no fog light halogen bulb fixture even inside here. So I'm missing a fog light bulb right here. So as soon as I'm able to find a fog light halogen bulb, insert it and ground it, and then actually put it against the fixture, I'm pretty sure it's going to power up with no problems with the city light that I just showed you. So again, already without the fog light bulb inside, to the right headlight side, low beam, high beam, parking light, which is the city light, is able to work with no issues. So what I'm expecting is pulling the rest of your order out, having the ByZenos kit on the table, grounding everything and wiring the positive correctly. I'm pretty sure I'm able to actuate the ByZenos with no issues, which actually I'm going to take the time. So I'm going to make a part 2 of the video once I have everything out on the table. Thank you so much for your time. Afternoon. This is pretty much the video part 2 from the initial video documentation. Actually, I've secured a H3 halogen bulb right now. Being the case is we're working with halogen components, the polarity does not matter for the fog light, so I'm going to go ahead insert its connection just kind of accordingly. It just needs a bit space to be grounded to have it light up, so I just want to make sure I get to do that. This is one of the more finickier connectors to come out. Alright, so I got the H3 retaining tabs open. I'm going to put the H3 bulb accordingly how it's shaped. So round end in first. So got that. Push against one of the retaining tabs to make sure it's grounded. Alright, perfect. It's inside there. So doing the same testing, we already established that the low beam and high beam is working with no issues. Now we're mainly focusing on the red connector, which is going to be your parking lights and also your fog lights connector. And then I'm showing or demonstrating right now that it should illuminate. I just plugged that in. So right then and there, your fog lights are working, no issues. And your city light. Alright, so I've documented actually the passenger right side for you. Right now I'm going to go ahead and move towards the driver left side. I'm going to actually pull some bulbs out so I can kind of transfer them over to continue with the testing. So I got the H3 out. I remove H4. It's a bit more finickier. Alright. I'll set your passenger right side aside. I'm going to go ahead and work with the driver left. Again, I don't want to make this video complicated in terms of what I'm documenting. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the H4 ByZenon kit pretty much from the unit and just test with halogens just to establish that you have proper power running to the correct fixtures. So housing removed. Time. This one's a bit more finickier. So since I actually have this free, which is the internal H4 connector, I'm just going to go ahead and plug in the fixtures right here and there, so it's a little easier on my end to show you the testing. So I'll go ahead and plug in the H4 halogen bulb. Alright, that's plugged in there. Now the H3 halogen bulb. Try not to touch the glass part of it, so bear with me. Alright. This one's a little bit paint too. I apologize. I'm going to pause the video until I get the retaining tabs correctly out real quick. Sorry about that. To continue on, I just needed help to kind of free this retaining tab right now. So we got this the H3 retaining tab freed. I'm going to go ahead and remove the bi-xenon HID bulb so that this is out of the equation. So set this aside. Alright, got the H4 halogen bulbs plugged in. You got a city light plugged in there. Now we're pretty much working towards to secure the H3 halogen bulb inside. So again, look for the shapes. Seems like the rounded end plugs in this way. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and secure one of the tabs. Alright, then you got your grounding wire. Insert that in. Perfect. So hopefully you can see a lot of the things illuminated from the rear housing up. Now I'm going to go ahead bench test it since I should have enough slacks with my leads. So again, check real quick. Make sure you wired everything correctly. Empty, red, yellow, and I see brown, white next, red. Perfect, you got this end, no problem. Alright, so one more time. Brown is my negative. Turn on my power supply. Alright, starting with the function that you had trouble with, which is the parking lights and the fog lights, which is the red wire. Right off the bat, fog lights work with no issues. You can also see that the city light is also illuminating. I'll turn it off. It turns off right now. Power on. You'll see the city light again illuminates. So with the red wire, both fixtures, the fog lights and the city light, works without any issues. Conversely, moving on, we got the low beams. So you got the halogen bulb with the low beam filament working with no issues. Now the high beam. Sorry, I'm going to move this away from the plastic so it doesn't scorch anything. And the high beams, again, filaments working with no issues, so that's the high beam filament. Right now everything seems to be working with no issues in terms of plugging in halogen components. I'll make a third video testing the bi-xenon kit off the headlights. Again, concept is there. As long as power is running through it, everything should work accordingly. I'm not too sure what had happened on your end. What I've noticed is you're missing the fog light bulbs, but if you retained or kept them on your side, no problem. But again, my report is concluding that everything works. Your low beam, your high beam, your fog lights, your parking lights for both headlight side, no problems. So again, give me some time to upload a video for your bi-xenon kit, which I have on the side. And pretty much this concludes the RMA documentation for your return. Thank you so much for your time.